everybody, welcome to Muscular Development's preview of the California State Pro Show happening this Saturday in San Diego, California. Joining me from all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, currently in Limerick, Ireland, awaiting heart surgery, but this is how dedicated this man is to his craft, the industry, and doing what he does best. Please welcome Giles Tiger Thomas. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Ron. I wanted to put a shirt on today because I've been lying here with my top off for like 8-9 days. So I wanted to feel a bit more human. So still got my gas baggies on though. I think these seriously need washing, mate. I mean, oh.
Well, I can say, so, when I wear something like a few days in a row, Janet says those things could walk by themselves at this point. So,
yeah.
So can we see some of the wires? I know you're all wired up.
Yeah, I'm all wired up.
All right, well, we can't get you too worked up during this preview or else the nurses might rush in because, I think it's some calamity.
We're good.
So, yeah, well, the New York Pro was this weekend, this past weekend. This is the third weekend in a row for shows. Actually, it's going to be 4 in a row because it's going to go Indy, New York, Cali State Pro, and then Toronto Pro. Boom, 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 boom.
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto's back. It's back. Because that show hasn't happened since 2019, I believe. Yeah, I don't think it was held. Yeah, it hasn't been held this is 3 years. So congratulations to Ron Hache for getting a show back going on. But we're talking today about the California State Pro. There's a couple people that I've seen already these past couple shows, but also some people I haven't seen yet who I'm looking forward to. But I want to start. I'm going to do this in alphabetical order. Look at my silly notes. Usually we start with like the front runners and everything, but I'm just going to go alphabetically. Tonio Burton was a 212. He made his pro debut last year at the Indy Pro, and he won. I had never heard of the guy in my life. They call him the Mutant, which is actually also Nick Walker's nickname. I guess they're going to have to fight it out and see who gets to keep the nickname. Did the Olympia, 10th place. And I think even right after that, he was talking about moving up to Open. And I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly, but here he is, his first Open show, only his third pro show ever. I don't know if you've been following him, but this guy has packed on some mass.
Yeah, I think he's really freaky. He took 4th at the Legion, if you remember.
Well, that's right. Let me write that
down. He beat Martin Fitzwater, who was 5th.
Wow. Oh, so he did. Okay, so I'm all messed up. He did the Open. He did Legion as an Open last year.
Yeah, he did it. He jumped in and thing is, he would have been like, had he was in 2017 when he did Korea, he would have been marginally over the 212. I mean, I'm guessing maybe 220 max.
Yeah.
So, but I like this guy's physique. He's very complete. He's very developed. He's nothing missing. He's very round and full. I just don't know how he's going to look as an Open next to these other guys. I mean, he did well at the Legion Sport, but I don't have an idea how he's going to do on this one because I've seen some videos and he looks fuller, but he's one of these guys that doesn't look crisp until he walks on stage, So I hope he just comes in like, sometimes you see 212 guys and they're like, they're not like Clarita where they come down even further. They try to fill out too much and they try to play the size game. And I think that would be a mistake for him. So, but I do like his physique. He's very thick. He's very freaky. I mean, he did a real lap spread video today and he looked absolutely crazy. So I hope he comes in nice and crisp and I hope he gives himself a good showing. But does this mean he's completely done with 212 now?
I don't know. I totally forgot about that Legion show, which is a great show. But so that was the same show that Clarita won in the Open, beating Regan Grimes and Sergio Oliva Jr., who outweighed him by 70 or 80 pounds each. And then Tonio jumped in there. Wow, 4th place. So 2 out of the top 4 in that show were 212 guys had just competed in 212 a week or 2 before. I think it was 2 weeks before at the Olympia. So wow, yeah. I mean,
do you think that's a good sign for the 212? Because I'm seeing a lot of these 212 shows with very low numbers. Do you think that's a good sign?
Not really. I mean, the 212 division needs 212 competitors. They can't all be leaving, but I don't know why they just don't do both shows. I mean, like Tonio, if he can still if he's not much over the limit, which I'm not sure if he is or not, but say he's only 215 or something, 216, he could easily drop a few pounds and then do another show and win as a 212. But I like the idea that they can go Open and 212 in the same season and do well. That harkens back to, when you and I were following the sport for many years, there were no lightweight divisions. There were no 202 or 212. It was guys like, Momo Benaziza, Lee Priest, Danny Padilla, all these guys that were shorter, and Lee Labrada, all these guys that were, 160 to 190 pounds, and they just dominated it. They were still beating the bigger guys. So.
And the thing is, he can't be like Clarida, where he doesn't have to worry about making weight because he's 174, So
yeah, that's right.
I'd be interested to know how much Tonio weighs at this show, or how much bigger he does look, because maybe he was one of the, I'm guessing because he made such a quick transition from 212 to open, I'm guessing he's one of those guys that really had to struggle to make it down to 212 and now just wants to grow and do the open and kind of, do what he needs to do. It's like when we saw Lunsford, that video guest posing at Pittsburgh, you just think if he's 257, he ain't got 45 pounds to lose to get in condition. He's got like 25, So I'm wondering, I feel bad for the guys that are struggling to get into 212 even in their first year, that then have to, he's obviously just going, you know what, I can't do it. I'm just going to go into open and just see how I do. I respect that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them need to get over that mental hurdle that you need to be 250 pounds to compete in the open. Of course you don't. That's ridiculous. It's a visual sport. We're looking at the physiques, especially in open. We don't know what these guys weigh. We can ask them and maybe they'll tell you the truth, but you have no idea if this guy could be 210 pounds, 250 pounds. Look into physique. It doesn't matter.
Clarida dropped 4 pounds from the Olympia to win Legion. So he didn't come in, okay, I'm a 212 competing in open. I'm going to have to fill out 10, 15 pounds and carb up. I remember when Flex Lewis did the open in 2011 at the Arnold Europe. Yeah. And Neil went to his room the night before with Guy Sistanino. And Neil was really trying to fill him out and stuff him full as much food because he says, you've got to be full, you've got to be big next to these other guys. And that was when he was a 202. So I think I asked Flex, and I think he said he was about 206 by the time he hit the stage. But then you got guys like Clarida that just think, well, I'm going to come in condition, so I'm not worried about being heavier and playing their game. I'm just going to play my game to suit my physique and my frame. And I think that's really, really smart. So be interesting to see. I just hope he's in condition.
Okay. Next up was Douglas Frucci. I just saw him compete at the New York Pro. I was sitting next to Jose. And we had both seen him at the Boston Pro, where he was, if not the hardest guy in the show, he was top 2. Crazy grainy condition. He's a big dude, doesn't have very pretty shape. So that's his calling card, his condition. He didn't really have it at this New York Pro. I don't know if it was a water issue, if he can turn it around in a week's time. If he can, he might get a look. I mean, there's only 10 guys in the show, so everyone's going to get a good look. It's not like there's going to be people that get overlooked and they're on the sidelines. But Doug Frucci, good luck to you. He's a Chris Aceto client. Now let's talk about Charles Griffin from Minneapolis. So Charles took a very, very strong second place to Blessing Awodibu. Got to say it right, Blessing, at the Indy Pro. And, I was so impressed with Charles after judging. I had him winning until I started looking at the pictures, and I drank the Boogeyman Kool-Aid after that. But, what a physique on this guy. He's so thick, round. He sorted out that midsection that he had. People were complaining. Some people were complaining that he still doesn't hit any abdominal shots. He hits a vacuum, or he hits that sideways thing where you see
really
ass. Yeah, doesn't hit the traditional ab and thigh shot. But I still had him beating Blessing in a couple poses, 3 poses strong. His rear lat spread was crazy because he's got that monstrous back and traps. Boogeyman doesn't really have those big bulging traps. Still has a great lat spread. I gave him also the side tricep because he's got these massive round horseshoe triceps. Blessing still needs to balance out his triceps to match his biceps. And I gave him the side chest for pretty much the same reason. He's so thick from front to back, Charles Griffin. It was a very impressive. But, I know I had texted him after that because I was doing the New York Pro preview, and all he said was, I'm not doing New York. And I didn't ask him, are you done for the season or anything like that? But now I'm wondering, was the strategy with him and his coach, Matt Jansen, forget about New York because Blessing just beat me. If he's beat me here, he's probably going to beat me next week. If you want to go to the Olympia, your best bet is to probably keep going another week. And also you have a little more time to let the body equalize from the peaking and the water deprivation and all that. Jump into this. And, aside from a couple guys we'll talk about, and one from Croatia, you're definitely going to talk about, this could be an easy, not easy, but a pretty solid way for him to get to the Olympia with a win here.
I am definitely rooting. I mean, I love, some of the guys I love, like Theo and Andrea Presti and guys like that, but I'm kind of really rooting not even so well. It's not secret because I'm telling you now. But I am rooting for Charles to get the win here because I'm so impressed with the improvements he made to his physique, to his waistline. The fact that he's, like I said, he came on so strong in Indy. I thought he'd won Indy at the pre-judge, and I was seeing all the photos coming in on the group and everything and on the forum. And I thought, okay, I think he's got this. I think he's done enough to win this. And then, like I said, Blessing just kind of pulled it out the bag for the night show, and he looked fantastic. But I think it was really when I saw that he was skipping New York Pro, I knew straight away that he was going to be. It was strategic because that was smart. Because I think it's good that Blessing isn't here, because I saw a post. Someone said, "Blessing, go and do Cali, then you'll be the king of both coasts, east and west." So I'm glad that Mayor's just texted me.
Mayor of Bodybuilding, Dan Dillon.
Yeah.
He's a super fan.
Yeah. So he said, what was I saying? So I'm glad that he chose to shut it down, Blessing, because I really, really would like to see Charles get through, not on points. I don't want to see him keep competing, because there's a lot of guys who've got a lot of points now. Yeah. I was reading like Andrea Presti's got 16, and some other guys have got loads, and I think he would really struggle doing lots and lots and lots of shows to just get to qualify. So I'd like to see him. I would like to see him get the win here and then shut it down and then go and do something spectacular again for the Olympia. Because I'd like to, because he really brought his A game, and I like it when we all love to see the guys that improve, like Blessing and Charles, and it makes the show so exciting, to see them bring something new and different, the vacuum and the smaller waist, and also to kind of like do miracles with their physiques, So I'm going to put it out there. I really am rooting for Charles to win this one.
Okay. Before we talk about anyone, is he your favorite, or some other names we're going to get to you think have a very strong chance of beating him?
Yes, but.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's get. And as it so happens, our next topic of conversation is Croatia's Petar, not Peter, Petar with an A, Klancier. Do you know how to pronounce his last name?
Klancier.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably murdering it. So he's another Mauro Sassi Team Stones athlete, and I've never seen him. You haven't seen him. Nobody's actually seen him on stage since, we think, 2016 or maybe 2017 at the latest.
I saw him at the Arnold Europe when MD sent me in 2017. That's the one that Rami won. Okay. Like I said, Rami was first, Bonac was second, Roden was third, Nathan was fourth. Rowley was fourth, and Nathan was fifth, and Max Charles was sixth, and he was seventh. So you say seventh in a pro show, you're like, but look who he was behind, and it was right after the Olympia. Rami looked better than he did at Olympia, I think personally, or as good. So did Bonac. So, he's not probably on a lot of people's radar because he hasn't, like, if those A-list, sounds silly because if those A-listers hadn't been there, he would have done better. But I mean, he was being compared to Rami and these guys. He was being called out with Nathan, and he was holding his own. And I'm telling you, I think I was gutted when he got his visa issues, for the New York and the Indy. So I'm really, really excited. This is the guy that I think could take this if he's as good as I think he is. He's not, his front and his side shots are good, very, very good. He's not quite as strong from the back, but he's very, very thick, very developed. And I think he's going to be hungry after being away for so long. So this is the guy that I think could be the wild card to come in and take this away from Charles. He's the one I think people are going to gasp when he walks out. So I think he's going to do great. So I just hope he gets there, and I hope he gets to compete. And because imagine if he missed 3 shows because of visa, that'd be just that'd really be bad. I'm
upset because I was hoping he would have made it at least. I knew the Indy he was supposed to be there. I said maybe he'll get it sorted out for the New York. Nope. So now I'll see him on a web, a pay-per-view, a stream or something. I won't get to see him in person, but he's about 5'11", 270 pounds, so thick, just a big, everything we like about brutal bodybuilding. That is him.
And also he's got a very good shape as well. I mean, he's big, but he's not like a big mess. He's got when he hits those compulsories, he's got a really nice shape. I mean, he's a bit long-waisted, but then so's Nathan the Asher. But it kind of makes his shoulder to waist ratio look even more pronounced. So I think he's going to shock. I think he's really going to shock. I think he's like a modern day Nasser Sambati. I think he's got huge potential, and I would love to see him. I'd love to see. Yeah, I think I want to see him in that top 3. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be so shocked if he wins.
I don't think I'd be too shocked either, just based on the pictures and videos I've seen. I'm curious, after it's all over, I don't know if he speaks English. I'm going to get a hold of him, or I got to find out where he's been these past 5 years. That's a long time to be away from the stage for a pro bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Next up, this guy, you nailed it. You told me this guy was great. He impressed the hell out of me at the New York Pro. Theologia, 4th place from France. First off, you're a fan of posing. By far, any division, classic, open, whatever, he had the best routine in the show, hands down. Yes, it was so much flair and drama, and ended with a split. It was the first routine that people were really like almost out of their chairs for.
And do you know what? He never practiced any routines. He just goes out and does it.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow, because you know what, I turned to who's next? Jose, because I kept saying there was a lot of guys that had no routine. It was very obvious. They were totally winning. They were just, you could see them stopping and thinking, what do I do next? Or they do the same 4 poses over and over. They just go to one side of the stage, and I'd elbow Jose. I said, no routine, no routine. But after Theo, I said, that guy had a routine. He had a great routine. So you're telling me he probably made that up on the spot. Wow.
Now, Theo did Puerto Rico last year, and he was top 5 there. Yeah. Now, I think it was at that show last year with the one at Akeem won it, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think that was the show when I think we all started to realize how big he is. Because I've had him on Globe Muscle. He and I always talk about it. And he said, I think it's because I have a very large head. Because on Instagram by himself, he doesn't have your eyes popping out on stalks. But when he gets on stage, you realize how big he is, how proportioned he is. And also he's very consistent with his conditioning. And he's a big, his shoulders are huge, but he's one of the guys, most guys are usually the opposite. They look great on Instagram and then not shit, but not as good on stage when they're compared. Right. But you see Theo, like last year in Puerto Rico, next to Akeem Williams. And I mean, what was it like when you saw him for the first time and he stood next to guys like Blessing and stuff? He wasn't getting outsized, was he?
Not at all. He was right there with them. I don't know what he weighs, but he was wide. He had those big cap shoulders, quads, just a lot of dense muscle, very balanced, beautiful shape. I'm so glad that he decided to come over and do a couple state U.S. shows, because now the U.S. fans are getting a look at him, and this Andrea Presti we'll get to soon.
He also, sorry to interrupt, just before you moved on to Presti, Theo sent me a really nice video as well the day before the New York, and he sent me a personal video and sent it to me on WhatsApp. And he says, bro, I'm gonna win the New York Pro from you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was crying. I was like, oh. Yeah, it's lovely.
He may not have won, but he made a huge impression on the crowd. People know his name is going to be in people's minds now. Whereas before.
Good. And he's not afraid to compete either.
Oh, yeah. And I can tell you I'm not going to give the MC's name. I'm not going to shame her or anything, but his name was just being murdered all weekend. Nobody could say it right. I don't even know if I say it right. She called him Ledger, or what did she call him? But is it Le Guerrier? Is that how you say it?
Le Guerrier.
Yeah. Well, that was not what came out of the MC's mouth, but it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. Le Grand Fromage, I call him, the big cheese.
That's more French than I speak. So we got 2 Andreas from Italy in the same show, just to make things confusing. The first one was Andrea Muzzi, who was 6th place in the 2020 European Pro. He was 5th place at the 2019 Fit Parade in Hungary. 2019, he was 3rd in Puerto Rico. He was also 4th at the Yamamoto Cup in Italy that year. And 4th place in 2 shows in 2018, the George Farrar Classic and the Big Man weekend. So this guy's got a pretty decent track record. He's not the same person as Andrea Presti. They're 2 different people, I promise you. But also a good amount of size on this guy. Really nice shape on him. You've seen Muzzy a few times now.
Yeah, Muzzy's huge, man. I mean, the legs on him. I mean, the legs, the shoulders, the chest, everything. And he's improving rapidly. And I know his placings were starting to slip a bit last year. And then I think he was supposed to do a show where he didn't do it. I can't remember, but he was, I think he was disappointed because he was doing more shows and he was kind of getting worse as he went along. So I think he just shut it down and then obviously come back this year. But I mean, he's in the 270s, this guy, and he's only like 5'10", 5'11". I mean, he's very, very well put together. It's going to be interesting to see him next to Muzzi because they're kind of at a similar level. They're both with Yamamoto. Yeah. I don't want to say he is if he isn't.
Probably.
Possibly. He's obviously one of Maro Sassi's clients. So I'm really excited to see how he's improved because he's a big guy. He's pretty well put together. I mean, his legs and his hamstrings are just fucking huge and thick. So I'm excited to see him back because I didn't even know he was competing until a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets a good look in, and I'm glad to see him compete in America as well because I like seeing these guys competing outside of Europe, you know, really testing themselves, because then you get like Presti and Theo who got 2nd and 4th in New York, and then all of a sudden, you know, a whole new legion of people are then talking about them and they're now aware of them, who they are. So I think it's really good for these guys to really get on the planes and try and test themselves by competing abroad.
Yeah, and that leads us right into another Andrea from Italy, Andrea Presti. Very solid 2nd place, and I'm so glad because I was watching the call-outs and thinking he looks to me like a solid 2nd place, and Jose felt the same way. But
wow,
we had like Max Charles, and we had a few other guys. I'm like, I don't know if I hate to say, are they going to let him take 2nd? Because that sounds like it's political, and if you're not well known, that they can. But it doesn't really matter. I've seen so many shows now where people come in with no big names, no hype, nothing to really give them some crazy advantage over anyone else. But the physique does the talking for him. And that guy, he got the attention of everybody at that show. It was he's as we know, he won a show last year. He won the Mr. Big Evolution, which you were at, weren't you? The web Portugal. Yeah, you did the web stream commentary for that. And yeah, he had the crowd really on his side in New York. Or it was actually New Jersey. It was very close to New York. But, man, I had seen him at the Olympia, but because it was the Olympia, he didn't get a lot of stage time. You know, he got last call out and he ended up placing last, which sounds terrible, but that's the Olympia. It was like 15 or 16 of the top physiques in the world. So I'm glad I got a chance to see more of him, and the crowd got a chance to see him compared to all the top guys, and the judges did the right thing. He's another one, so wide, shoulders from here to here, small waist, flaring quads, great condition, very good stage presence, solid poser with the mandatories and the finals routine. Yeah, this is a great thing that like you said, these guys are coming over here and doing more shows in the USA.
I was absolutely thrilled when he got 2nd last week. When I got, because I was tired, I went to sleep, and then I turned my phone on in the morning. I was like, yeah, Presti got 2nd, because I like Andrea. I mean, he's a maniac in the gym. He trains like 2 hours. Like he said, I train for like 2 hours minimum just weight training, and I do cardio. And he's one of the guys who are kind of that hungry and improving that fast. They're the ones you got to kind of watch, because even if they last couple of years, even before he won the pro show in Portugal last year, you know, they're not really, you know, sort of on everyone's radar. They're the guys that kind of like, you know, that steadily just, you know, are just going to keep improving because of their work ethic. So I was really impressed with what he brought to New York, and I'm glad that a new audience, like I said with Mutsi, they got to see him, because he is really good, and he's working on his weaknesses. I mean, his arms and his legs still need to come up a little bit more, but I mean, I saw the improvements when he hit that most muscular, the hands, the fist together. I was like, there was a lot more going on in his physique, you know, and he's got some fantastic shots. His side shots are really good. I love his back shots, because he's got a beautiful. It's V, but it's very thick as well, you know. So it's got a good sort of good angles he's making with it, but it's just very thick and developed. So I was absolutely thrilled to see a guy like that, a European guy, get 2nd in the New York Pro, you know. So because that's going to be good for him, and I think he got 8 points last weekend, which now gives him 16. So he could pick up a decent amount of points here, and then really sort of get through to the Olympia. Because he said last year, he says, it's my lifetime ambition to do the Olympia. He did the Olympia. You know, he was in last place, but I'd love to see him come back to the Olympia again this year and climb up a few spots, maybe close to that top 10, because I think he's impressive. And like I said, you could never take your eye off the guys that just keep improving.
Yeah, it looks like I'm fiddling with my phone, but I want to give you an idea of how popular this guy is based on something so silly as how many people are looking at his videos. So we have all the posing videos of all the top open and 212 guys up on this channel right now, and we're recording this on a Tuesday. These videos just went up yesterday. So here's some views for other people: 333, 521, 393. I'll jump right ahead, because Blessing, you'd think his routine would have the most views, right? At this point, it has 1.8K. Theo has 1.2. Andrea Presti, 7.1K views. So
Oh,
people speak with their clicks and their views. So
yeah,
they
yeah.
like this guy. They like his look. They like everything about him. So congratulations, Andrea. You are on the rise as just. This is the first one of these we haven't done from Tiger Towers.
Yes. Yeah.
Next up, Christopher Robinson. He's making his pro debut. He's from Henderson, Nevada. He was the 2020 USA Championship super heavyweight and overall champion. Big guy, nice shape, good balance. We'll see how he does. Have you ever heard of him before?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't.
USA champ. So he won the overall at USA, which is top. USA gives pro cards for every top 2 in every weight class. So the fact that he was the overall champion tells you he's definitely very good. Last but not least, Mohammed Shaban. I know he did more shows last year. 5th in Tampa, 2nd place at the KO Squad show after the Olympia to Regan Grimes, 10th in the Olympia, 7th in Chicago in 2020, 6th at the Cali Pro this show in 2020. He won the 2019 show in Portugal. Very, very solid competitor, Mohammed Shaban. I was wondering when he was going to start competing this season, and I guess this is it. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. I was just thinking as you were saying that, because he got 10th Olympia in 2020.
Yeah.
Is he the highest ranked guy in this show? I'm just trying to think. If he's 10th Olympia, the highest Charles was 13th in 2018.
Yeah.
So Presti was 15th. I'm thinking statistically on paper, if you want to go by Olympia placings, he's the highest rank. Now, what was his injury? Was he tore something, didn't he?
I seem to remember hamstring. I'm not
I think
sure.
he tore his hamstring.
That sounds right. Yeah,
because he's trained by Andrew Vu and prepped by Andrew Vu and trained by Charles Glass. I don't know if that's changed, but because he lives in Cali, doesn't he?
Yeah, I believe he trains in Gold's Venice every day.
Yeah. So statistically, on paper, he is the best, really. I mean, but then you got Charles and Charles, who's made significant improvements. So I mean, someone like Mohammed Shaban has to be one of the favorites to win this. But with me, Shaban, I mean, all the Egyptians last year, they did so many shows. He tends to get better with every show. So I don't know whether I'm hoping he brings his best to the first show. With it being on home soil, it might be easier for him. And I hope because I've not seen anything on social media. He's not posted anything. Nothing's come up on my timeline of how he's looking. So I literally have no clue how he's doing, because normally he posts right up to the day of the show.
Yeah.
So
it's Shaban, I believe it's Shaban IFBB Pro. Oh, Mo Shaban IFBB Pro. Let's see the last thing he posted. He's got someone doing a body work on him, and that was 5 days ago.
So there you go. Is that a good sign or a bad sign? I mean, I'm hoping it's a good sign, because, I mean, he's statistically he's the best one. I mean, and obviously you saw the improvements from 2019 to 2020. Sorry. I mean, this guy he's hungry.
Okay, so can this show? Can we see this? This was May 12th. It doesn't really.
Awesome. He is awesome. Shaban's awesome. He's awesome.
Looks like he's in pretty damn great shape there. So, yeah, we're rooting for him. But to me, that wild card, assuming he gets to the United States, this Clancher guy, I'm really, really curious to see how he compares, because I don't think he's competed against any of these guys before. So it's anybody's show. We got some favorites in here, but this is anybody's show. It's not like New York Pro or Blessing. Someone was coming in from a win and everyone had them as the clear favorite. This is pretty wide open, where we have a few guys. I wouldn't be surprised if Griffin won. I wouldn't be surprised if Clancher won. Theo, Presti, Shaban could win this. This is wide open, so that's exciting.
I think they'll be moving around a lot, I'm guessing, because like you said, there's guys who are ranked higher than other guys. And I mean, there's 5 guys that literally have the goods to win this. So I just hope it really is. I hope the good thing about the judging, they really seem to move around a lot. So I think it's going to be quite an exciting pre-judging. So, I mean, in my heart, I'm kind of thinking.
I was wondering when are you gonna crack one of those jokes. In my heart of hearts,
I've got a potato for a heart. I'm kind of rooting for Charles, but I'm fully aware that there's probably 5 guys that could win this. So it's not a foregone conclusion. And I'm kind of glad Blessing didn't do this one, because I think it would take away some of the excitement and the opportunity for somebody else to, like sometimes you see the guys that keep competing and it's like, oh, come on, you're just taking prize money and an Olympia placing away from somebody else there. Yeah. So it adds a little bit more excitement. Blessing isn't doing this one. But I'm kind of hoping Charles kind of wins this, but the 2nd through 5 could literally be in any order. But I'm really excited to see what Clancy is going to bring, mainly because I know how good he is, because I've seen him in the flesh, and also because of all the visa issues. So it's really added to the excitement, because the big freaky guys, they really want to be seen in New York. They always say it's a freaky guy show. Yeah. So I just hope he comes and he delivers and he gets there and he really, really gives everyone hell, because if he's as good as I think he is, I think he's going to really cause a lot of trouble. So, and obviously I'm rooting for Theo, Shaban and Presti as well. So it's going to be an exciting show, mate. Really exciting.
Cool. And none of these men are qualified for the Olympia yet. So after this show, somebody's going to be going to the Olympia, which is cool. A lot of times, as you say, guys are already qualified, like Blessing, and they keep jumping into shows and they're already qualified. They don't give it to the next guy down the line. It's just they get points. So one of these gentlemen we just spoke about is going to earn his way to the Olympia on Saturday. So I don't have the info for pay-per-view, but I believe musclecontest.com will have that. If not right now, it's going to be available soon. So I don't know if you're going to try to watch. Are you going to try to watch if it's on pay-per-view?
What day? Oh, sorry. What's it? It's Saturday, isn't it?
Saturday, yeah. I'm not sure the times. Like I said, it's
I
only...
might do, actually. Yeah, I might do, because I'm just sat here scratching my ass in this hospital room.
Yeah. Well, you got your own private suite there, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you had some annoying person in there the whole time talking your ear off.
Well, there is Mongo in the next room.
What? Mongo?
Mongo. Yeah, remember Blazing Saddles?
I do. I remember that character, and that's who's next door.
Well, no, but because this is really bad. I'm probably going to. This is really horrible, because I think he's mute.
Okay.
And he keeps making these noises, and he's got some lungs on him, this guy. So it's like it's morning, mooning, night. So, but it's not. So I've needed sleeping tablets the last 2 nights to get to sleep.
Tell me you need your beauty sleep. Bang on the door or something.
Oh, yeah, no, I just pressed the button. I said, please give me a sleeping tablet. Please. I need some sleep. Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully I can. Like yesterday was a bit of a bad day, because obviously I was supposed to be going 6 rounds with Freddy Krueger today. But
what?
Well, chopped up, getting sliced up. Yeah. So
hopefully not with that finger knives.
Yeah. So that was put back yesterday. They said, sorry, bad news, it's going to be put back till next Monday. So I was like, and then they came back and they said, oh, well, there might be a chance. So they kept us waiting until 6 p.m., came back and said, no, we can't. I was like, are you kidding me? So anyway, so now it's been confirmed today, been taken to Dublin Sunday, being operated on Monday by Professor McCarthy.
Okay. Sounds like a pretty smart guy.
Not dodgy Dave, and his shaking hands.
Professor McCarthy.
Yeah, that's his name, Professor McCarthy. He's the cardiac surgeon that's working on me. So
wait, his first name is Professor?
Well, he's a professor.
Oh, I mean, because it's possible somebody could name somebody that. I don't think anybody would, but you never know.
The European thing.
Yeah, Professor. Okay. Well, Giles, we're all behind you. We're all thinking of you every day, and we know everything's going to go well. You're going to get through this and be better than ever after this, because as we said in the interview that we did that's up on this channel from last week, you've been operating with about a 30 to 40% heart function for a while now, for a couple of years, without even knowing it. And you've been so productive, going all over the place, covering shows, producing content for various channels, ourselves, Ronnie Coleman, the IFBB. You've been doing so much in going to the gym and stuff with that. So once you get to 100% function, my goodness, it's going to be like there's 3 tigers running around over there.
I would literally be like Tony Stark, when he gets the upgrades,
There you go. So thanks for doing this from your hotel. Hospital bed. You got me thinking it's a hotel now. from your hospital bed. Yeah. Well, you're getting plenty of rest, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and also a big thank you to everyone, because I mean the messages. I mean, as we're filming there, I think about 5 messages came through from different people, and also people that I've not spoken to for years or I've lost contact with, and it's been really lovely actually. You know, kind of receiving those messages and people reaching out and DMing, and it does. I never really realized how much of a difference it does make. So I do appreciate it. I got a lovely message from Jay Cutler the other day as well, voice note.
Excellent. Yeah, he's a great
guy.
Jay,
and and all these people in the industry, people I just didn't think they'd even bother, and it's really definitely feeling the love. So never hear me whinge about that. So so.
All right. Well, thank you, Giles, for taking the time to do this California State preview show. Show is happening this Saturday. I'll do a little video with some results and stuff like that. But for now, hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time right here, musculardevelopment.com. Thanks for watching.